The unwilling dawn, a prayer of last resort. The first awakening, silence. 3:47 a.m. The digital clock's red numerals bleed into the dark. This is not a time for prayers. This is a time for the dead to walk, for regrets to breathe cold against the neck, for the architecture of the soul to show its cracks. And yet, this is the hour my eyes snap open, night after night, as if summoned to a tribunal no one else can see. The ceiling is a slate of gray nothingness. Is this where you are, in this nothing? My mouth is cotton and ash. My name is Leo. I am 42 years old. I sell compliance software to mid-sized manufacturing firms. I have a mortgage, a fatting photograph of a son who texts in monosyllables, and a wife who sleeps beside me with the serene stillness of a person who has successfully escaped into dreams. The space between us in this king-size bed is a calm, cold canyon. I do not pray, not anymore. My childhood prayers were lists of wants. My adulthood prayers were transactions, keep them safe and I will be better. Now there is only this silent, starring wakefulness in the deepest trench of the night. It is not insomnia, it is a vigil. But for what? I have read the desperate posts online in the forums where people whisper about the cracks in reality. They call it the glitch, the nudge, the morning gift. Some claim to wake knowing tomorrow's headlines. Some say they can taste lies. Most are liars themselves or mad. I am neither. I am empty. But this morning, 3:47 a.m., the emptiness shifts. It's not a sound, it's a pressure. A silent resonance like the hum of a gigantic machine felt through the earth, not the air. It compresses my sternum. My breath hitches. And a sentence forms in my mind, not in my own internal voice, but in a voice of worn stone and distant water. The contract is null. The terms are forfeit. You are in default. It is not heard. It is known. It floods the synapses, a bone-deep certainty. I jackknife upright, a choked gasp tearing from my throat. My wife, Sarah, murmurs, turns away. The words are gone as suddenly as they came, but their meaning is seared into me, a cosmic foreclosure notice. On what? My soul, my life, my mediocrity. Panic, cold and electric, courses through me. This is it, the psychosis, the brain tumor, the final unraveling. But a deeper, terrible instinct whispers, no, this is the echo of the prayer you haven't had the courage to utter. I look at Sarah's back, the gentle rise and fall. I look at my hands, trembling in the sliver of streetlight through the blinds. I am a ghost already, haunting my own life. And for the first time in 20 years, I form words meant for something beyond myself. They are not pretty. They are a raw, silent scream into the void. What do you want from me? The silence returns, heavier now. It is no longer an absence. It is a presence, a waiting. This is the beginning, not with a light but with a verdict. The second awakening, the scars of other lives. The next morning I wake, and I am a violinist. It is not a memory, it is a possession. My fingers, his fingers, twitch against the quilt, craving the smooth curve of a neck, the tension of strings. The phantom weight of a chin rest presses against my jaw. My inner ear is full of a complex, aching piece. Sibelius's violin concerto in D minor, the fiendish cadenza, and every micro-movement of fingering, every bow stroke, lives in my muscles as a physical memory. The calluses are not on my own soft palms, but their ghost sensation is undeniable. I know his name is Emil. He was 74 when he died, in a small apartment in Prague, his hands finally stilled by arthritis. A lifetime of dedication. A deep, abiding loneliness that found its only expression in the voice of wood and horsehair. I stumble to the bathroom, gripping the sink. Leo's face stares back from the mirror, tired, paunchy, with the beginnings of jowls. But superimposed, like a double exposure, is the gaunt, elegant face of an old man with watery blue eyes and a carefully trimmed white mustache. I feel his sorrow for a career that never reached the grand stages, his quiet pride in the few students he nurtured, his profound love for the music itself, a love so pure it was a kind of agony. Get a grip, Leo, I whisper to my reflection. My voice sounds alien, thin. Sarah is already at the kitchen table, scrolling her phone, sipping coffee. You look like hell, she says without looking up. I open my mouth. I want to say I died in Prague last night. My name was Emil. Instead, I say bad dreams. The ghost of Emil recedes throughout the day, but it doesn't leave. It sediments. By evening, while I mindlessly scroll through streaming services, a profound understanding of melodic structure, of emotional phrasing, sits inside me. I hear the soundtrack of a commercial, a cheap, synthesized violin line, and I physically wince. I know how it should breathe. That night, I'm afraid to sleep. But sleep comes. And the next morning, I wake up as Captain Alicia Vance, 31, discharged from service 2 years ago after an IED near Kandahar took her left leg and the lives of 2 men in her unit. My body screams with phantom pain, a crushing weight where a calf should be. The smell of diesel, sand, and blood is so real I gag. Her reflexes are in me. A hypervigilant scan of the room, assessing exits, light sources, potential threats. Her emotions are a tangled knot of guilt, loyalty stretched to breaking, and a fury so cold it has become part of her metabolism. Making coffee is a tactical operation. Driving to work is a patrol through hostile territory. A car backfires on the interstate and I nearly swerve into the guardrail, my heart a frantic drum against my ribs. Alicia's memories are not stories, they are flashbacks embedded in my nervous system. The heat, the concussive roar, the smell of burning flesh that was once a friend. At the office, my colleague Dave claps me on the shoulder. Big presentation today, Leo. Ready to wow M. Alicia's instinctual reaction, threat, contact, disable surges. I barely stop myself from grabbing his wrist and twisting. I force a smile that feels like a grimace. Born ready. The presentation is a blur. I speak about cloud integration and data protocols, while part of me is in a dusty wadi, calculating wind speed and cover. That evening, I don't even try to talk to Sarah. I sit in the dark living room, feeling Alicia's despair, the feeling of being a weapon with no war, a soldier without a platoon, adrift in a peaceful, trivial world she was trained to destroy. I am becoming a cemetery of souls. On the third morning, I am Li Na, a 58-year-old hydroponic farmer from the Shandong province, her hands permanently curved from a lifetime of careful pruning, her mind a vast, peaceful catalog of nutrient solutions, light cycles, and the silent green joy of growth. No trauma, no great art, just a deep, sustaining competency. A connection to life in its simplest form. Her patience is an ocean in me, cooling the burn of Alicia's war, soothing the melancholy of Emil's music. I go into my neglected backyard. I look at the wilted tomato plants Sarah bought and forgot. Without thinking, I begin. I clear weeds. I feel the soil's moisture content with Li Na's instincts. I gently support a sagging stem. For an hour, there is no Leo, no software, no debt, no silent marital canyon. There is only the sun, the plant, and the quiet knowledge of how to help it live. This is the pattern. Every dawn, a new life colonizes mine. A neuroscientist obsessed with the hippocampus. A street artist from Sao Paulo with spray paint in her veins. A grandmother in Ghana who knew how to tell stories that held an entire village together. The prayers have started, but they are not conscious. They are the desperate daily act of integration. The silent screaming question. Why? Am I being punished, educated, dismantled? I am learning empathy not as a concept, but as a brutal, total invasion. I can no longer see a stranger without wondering what masterpiece, what battlefield, what garden, what quiet tragedy lives in the secret history of their cells. My own life, Leo's life, begins to feel like the flimsiest of fictions, a bland cover story for this library of stolen experiences. One night, after a week of this, I break. I don't kneel. I curl on the floor of the shower, the hot water scalding my skin, trying to wash away the psychic residue of a Bolivian miner named Javier whose lungs still ache in my chest. The words come, a torrent of confusion and anguish. Is this the answer, to be nobody, to be a hotel for dead people? I can't hold them all. Their loves, their regrets, they're too heavy. I'm not a vessel, I'm a cracks, I'm spilling. What do you want me to do with this? Forgive more, understand more. I understand too much. I understand the cashier's secret dream of being a poet. I understand my boss's terror of his own father. I understand my son's silence is not anger but a fear of being as lost as I am. It's crushing me. Please, either make it stop or tell me why. Give me a purpose. Don't just make me a haunted house. The water runs cold. I receive no answer. Only the next morning's gift. A Sami reindeer herder from Norway, with the taste of wind-blown snow on my tongue and the knowledge of following ancient migratory paths in my bones. The third awakening, the lie. It changes on the 17th day. I wake and there is no new life. There is only Leo, exhausted, frayed at the edges from hosting a cavalcade of ghosts. Relief floods me, then immediate, paradoxical loneliness. The silence in my own mind is deafening. I shuffle to the kitchen. Sarah is at the table, her back to me, typing furiously on her laptop. And then I see it. Hovering in the air just above her head, in shimmering, mercury-like script that is both there and not there, a sentence. If I stay perfectly still, maybe the sadness won't find me. It pulses with a soft, sickly light. It is not a guess. It is a revealed fact as clear as the color of her shirt. I stagger, grabbing the doorframe. She hears me, turns. The script remains a cruel halo. Her face is its usual mask of pleasant, focused efficiency. Morning, you look like you've seen a ghost. I see your ghost, I think. I see the one you hide from yourself. Just tired, I mumble. I drive to work. The world has become a gallery of hidden captions. The barista with the vibrant tattoos. I am a burden to everyone who loves me. My boss, Dave, in the elevator, boasting about his golf score. My father was right. I am a superficial man. A young mother struggling with a stroller on the sidewalk. I have ruined my life and hers. The lies are not about external facts. I didn't eat the last cookie. They are the foundational, toxic untruths people build their personalities upon, the wounds they mistake for identities. At first it is fascinating, then profoundly isolating. I am a truth-seer in a world of self-deception. The noise of it is unbearable. In a meeting, I see 5 different scripts glowing in the dim conference room light, a chorus of hidden pain. I am invisible. I deserve to be punished. I will be exposed. I am fundamentally broken. Love is a transaction I always lose. My prayer that night is a whimper. Why show me this? I am not a healer. I can't fix these cracks in the world. It's too much. It's like seeing everyone naked and bleeding and I have no bandages. Is this the lesson? That everyone is secretly drowning. I already knew that. Now I just have proof. A thought, cold and clear, surfaces in response, not from outside but from the deep well of all the lives I've carried. You have proof. Now what is your responsibility? The next day I try. I see my intern, Maya, a brilliant young woman who moves through the world with defensive sharpness. Her script glows. I must be perfect or I will be discarded. I call her into my office for a routine project review. Instead of launching into critiques, I find myself saying, the initiative on the back-end architecture, it was risky. It didn't all work, but the thinking behind it was first-rate. That kind of intellectual courage is more valuable to this team than perfect execution. I watch the words hit her. The glowing script doesn't vanish, but it flickers, just for a second. Her mask of preemptive defiance softens into confusion, then something vulnerable. Oh, thanks. I thought it was a mess. It was a brave mess, I say. Keep making those. It is a tiny thing, but for the first time since this began, I feel a flicker of something other than terror or despair. A sense of alignment. But it is exhausting, surgical. I cannot fix everyone. I am not a therapist. I am a middle manager with a cursed vision. The breaking point comes with my son, Jason. He comes over for his obligatory Sunday dinner, a sullen, beautiful 19-year-old lump on our couch, headphones on, communicating in grunts. His script burns above him, brighter and more anguished than any I've seen. I am my father, empty, and I will infect everyone I touch. The pain of it is physical. It steals my breath. This is the legacy I have given him. Not a name, not savings, but this core lie, absorbed through 1,000 silences, my own absences, my quiet surrender to a life he perceives as meaningless. I can't speak. I can't eat. I just watch that sentence burn over the head of the boy I love more than life, a verdict he has passed on himself with me as the blueprint. That night my prayer is not a question. It is a surrender, a white flag raised in total defeat. Enough, this is the cruelest one yet. You showed me I am a mosaic of other people. You showed me everyone's secret hell. And now you show me that my own son's hell is me. I am the architect of his pain. I cannot bear this. If this is power, it is the power of a scalpel with no anesthesia. I am begging you. I am on my knees in the dirt of my own soul. Take it back. Make me blind again. Let me be ignorant. Let me be Leo the mediocre. Let me be anything but this witness. Or if you will not take it away, then give me a tool, not just the sight of the wound. Give me the thread to pull. Give me one clear, undeniable choice. Let me act, not just see, please. The fourth awakening, the daily save point. Silence for 3 days. The Lysite remains a constant, mournful overlay on the world. The parade of other lives has stopped. It feels like a pause, the eye of the storm. On the fourth day, I wake to a sound that isn't a sound. It is the most definitive sound I have ever not heard. The sound of a cosmic key turning in a cosmic lock. The sound of reality settling into a groove, a save point. I know it instantly, intuitively. This moment, the feel of the linen, the angle of the light through the blinds, the specific ache in my lower back, the distant hum of the refrigerator, is now etched into the permanent record. It is the default setting, the place to which all things will revert. I don't understand the mechanism, only the certainty. If something goes catastrophically, irreversibly wrong, I will wake up here, to this. The knowledge is not a comfort. It is a chilling, infinite responsibility. I go through the day with a new hyper-awareness. Every interaction feels like a potential branch point. I drive with paralyzing caution. I weigh every email before sending. Nothing happens. It is a perfectly ordinary, terribly mundane day. I go to bed confused. Was it just my imagination? A final psychic fever dream before the visions fade. The next morning, I do not wake at home. I wake up in a cacophony of blaring horns, screaming metal, and my own scream. My car is a crushed accordion against the pillar of an overpass. The world is tilted. Blood is in my eyes, hot and coppery. I can't feel my legs. A starburst of pain in my chest tells me a rib has found my lung. The smell of gasoline is overwhelming. Dave's stupid golf lunch. I took the highway. The truck swerved. Darkness swallows the pain. I gasp, sucking in air like a diver breaking the surface. I am in my bed. The linen, the light, the ache in my back, the hum of the fridge. 3:47 a.m. My hands fly to my chest, my legs, whole, unbroken. I am sobbing huge, ragged, snot-filled sobs of animal terror and relief. Sarah sleeps on. It was real, the impact, the dying, the save point worked. The entire day repeats. The morning routine, the commute. The memory of the crash is a fresh, visceral terror layered over the present. My hands shake on the wheel. When Dave suggests the golf lunch, I refuse, my voice a frantic croak. No, not today, not the highway. I take back roads. I am a nervous wreck, but I make it home alive. I cling to Sarah that night, burying my face in her hair, shaking. She is bemused, but she pats my back. Rough day, huh? You have no idea, I think. No idea that I died today and I remember it. The next loop is subtler but worse. A phone call at 3:17 p.m. It's the dean of Jason's college. There's been an incident, a lab accident, a fire. Jason was in the chemistry building. He's gone. The world drops out from under me. The sound that comes from my throat is not human. I collapse in my office. The grief is instant, total, annihilating. It is a black hole that consumes all light, all meaning. I feel my mind begin to unravel at the edges, a howling void where my son used to be. The bed, the linen, the light, the hum. 3:47 a.m. This time the sob is one of pure, desolate agony. The grief is still there, a phantom limb of the soul, carved into me by a reality that was, then was. It has no place to go. My son is alive, sleeping in his dorm right now, but I have felt him be dead. I have crossed into that universe and returned scarred. This is the true power, not the prevention of death, but the obligation to live with the memory of all the deaths you have failed to prevent. The prayers are no longer formal. They are the constant, running commentary of a soul in a labyrinth. Okay, today he dies, so today I stop it. How do I call him, tell him to skip lab, he'll think I'm insane. Do I drive there? Bomb threat, that's a felony. Guide me. Just give me a thread, one thread. I call Jason, he doesn't answer. I text, my thumb's clumsy. Don't go to the chem lab today. Please, just trust me, a bad feeling. He texts back an hour later. Okay, weirdo. Lab is required, chill. Panic, I leave work. I drive 2 hours to his campus. I am a madman packing outside the chemistry building. I see him walking up with his backpack. He sees me. His face hardens into anger and embarrassment. Dad, what the hell? Jason, please, just don't go in for me. Cut class. I'll write you a note. I'll pay the fine, please. Are you drunk? Are you having a breakdown? You're humiliating me. I'd rather humiliate you than bury you. I shout, tears streaming down my face. The raw, desperate love in my voice, so rarely expressed, stops him. He stares. The lysite is gone in my panic, but I don't need it to see his confusion warring with a lifetime of longing for this very intensity from me. Dad, please, Jace, one day, give me one day of trust. He scowls, looks at the building, back at me. You're buying me a truly ridiculous dinner to explain this. Deal. We go to a diner. He skips lab. We talk. Not like father and son, but like two confused people. I can't explain. I tell him I had a waking nightmare. He tells me about his life, the pressure, a girl he likes, his fear that he's just going through the motions like I did. No fire happens. Or maybe it does, in a different version of today. In this one, my son lives, and I remember the weight of his coffin on my shoulders from a yesterday that no longer exists. The loops continue. Not every day. Sometimes weeks of normalcy pass, the save point just a quiet, ominous potentiality in the back of my mind. Then it triggers. A heart attack I didn't know Sarah was at risk for. A mass shooting at a movie theater we decided to go to on a whim. A gas line explosion in our neighborhood. Each time I wake, each time I carry the memory of the loss. Each time I must find the thread, the one conversation, the one changed route, the one forgotten item that sends the day down a safer branch. I am not a hero. I am a cosmic QA tester, running the simulation of my life over and over, debugging it of tragedies. My soul is accumulating invisible calluses from all the disasters I have lived through and undone. The weight of it is unsustainable. I am living 1,000 lives, mourning 1,000 losses, all for this single, fragile timeline. I begin to understand the bargain. The power is not to cheat death, but to become death's intimate. To know its face so well, you can gently steer your loved ones from its path. But who steers me from madness? One night after preventing a suicide, a colleague I barely knew, whose script I finally understood read, "The world is colorblind, and I am a shade of gray it will never miss." By spending 3 looping days figuring out how to authentically connect with him, I break completely. I don't make it to the shower. I collapse in my home office, a husk. My prayer is beyond words. It is a raw emission of pain, a silent scream that contains all the screams of all the loops. It is the sound of a man drowning in time. The vision, when it comes, is not a voice. It is a knowing, placed in the center of my mind like a single, still jewel. You asked for a tool, you asked for the thread, you have it. The power is not the loop. The power is the love that persists through all of them, the love that learns through infinite repetition how to finally express itself. You are not in a prison of time, you are in a forge, and you are both the metal and the blacksmith. Your life is the hammer, the tragedies are the heat. What is being forged is your attention, your courage, your love. Stop fighting the loop, lean into it. The purpose is not to save everyone. The purpose is to become the kind of man who, given infinite chances, finally learns how to love them properly. The fifth awakening, the Arbiter's dawn. The loops stop. The lysite fades. The ghost lives settle into a quiet, compassionate murmur in the background of my psyche, a council of elders I can consult. A new pattern begins. Now each morning as I surface from sleep, a single, ordinary choice presents itself, underlined by a quiet, divine gravity. It appears not as a vision, but as a bone-deep knowing of consequence. Today's choice: walk the dog on Maple Street or on Riverside Path. I sense the weight. Maple Street leads to a chance encounter with a man painting his fence, a conversation about the weather. This man, in 3 weeks, will be on a committee deciding the fate of a community center. My benign comment about needing more places for kids will seed an idea. The center gets funding. 100 kids find a sanctuary. Riverside Path, I avoid the painter. The idea is never seeded. The committee vote goes the other way. The center closes. A talented, angry 14-year-old with no outlet turns to a different path. A decade later, he is the cause of a tragedy that splashes across the news. The choices are never between good and evil. They are between two ripples in a pond. One leads to a distant, unseen good. The other leads to a distant, unseen pain. I am not choosing the outcome. I am choosing which seed to water. This is the final, most unbearable power. Daily, trivial omniscience with no control. I choose Maple Street. I talk to the painter. The moment is utterly mundane. I will never know if the chain plays out as sensed. I have to have faith. Some choices are heavier. Call your father today or wait until the weekend. Call today, he is in a talkative mood. He mentions a dizzy spell he's been ignoring. I insist he sees the doctor. Early stage blockage is found. A stent is placed. He lives another 15 years. Wait, the call happens Saturday. The dizzy spell is forgotten in the weekly gossip. Next Tuesday, a massive heart attack. He dies alone in his garden. I call. At the coffee shop, give your usual tip, or give the barista the $20 in your wallet. Usual tip: the barista, Kaitlin, makes rent but just barely. Her car breaks down next month. She can't fix it. She loses her job. A spiral begins. Give the $20. It is an absurd, lavish tip. It makes her day. She posts about random kindness online. A customer sees it, recognizes her from the shop. He's a manager at a better paying job. He reaches out. She gets an interview. Her life improves. I give the 20. She cries, it's awkward. I hurry out. This is my life now. Every morning I wake up to a moral calculus with invisible variables. I am the arbiter of the mundane, the god of small things. The pressure is constant, but it is a clean pressure. It is not the chaotic bombardment of before. It is a focused lens. It has changed everything. I am present in a way I never was. Because any moment, any trivial decision might be the one. I listen more. I am kinder. I am more courageous in small ways, because I never know which small thing is the keystone. I have learned why the powers came in this order. The other lives taught me empathy, to feel what others feel. The Lysite taught me diagnosis, to see the root of the pain. The save point taught me perseverance and the preciousness of a single timeline, to never give up on finding the thread. The Arbiter's dawn is the synthesis, the daily humble application of all that was learned. It is love made actionable in real time. I am not powerful. I am an instrument, a finely tuned one, forged in grief and loops and the silent screams of others. I still talk to God. It's less a prayer now and more a partnership report. Maple Street today seemed right. The painter's name is Carl. He has a grandson in Toledo. Hope it works. Jason called. He's thinking of changing his major. I just listened. Sarah's script changed. Did you see? It used to be if I stay perfectly still. Today it was fainter. It said, maybe movement is safe. We're going to dance classes. It's ridiculous. We're terrible. We laugh. The silence that answers is no longer empty. It is the silence of a shared project. The silence of a weaver at the loom and me, the thread, finally understanding the pattern. This morning's choice was simple. Make the coffee strong or make it mild. Strong, I am more alert. I catch an error in a contract before sending it. The error, if sent, would have cost a small family-run supplier everything. We correct it. Their business survives. Mild, I am groggy. I miss it. The supplier goes under. A family is shattered. I made it strong. I sit at my kitchen table, the morning sun warm on my hands. Sarah is humming in the other room. The world is full of invisible threads, and I hold one, just one, in my hands each day. It is enough. This is the power, not to rule, not to shine, but to mend. One invisible stitch at a time in the fabric of a world that is always, always tearing. I am Leo. I am 43. I sell compliance software, and when I wake up, I hold a piece of the world's destiny in my choice of coffee. I take a sip. It is strong and bitter and good. The prayer was answered, not by removing the burden, but by giving me the spine to carry it. Not by giving me light, but by making me a prism, to fracture the terrible, beautiful weight of existence into a single, manageable beam I can point, each day, at a single, needed spot. Amen. Let it be so.